Hi everyone, I'm back in my workshop again. Thanks to the camera, you're here with me too. I've brought an interesting experiment for you. I'm sure everyone knows what a permanent magnet is. I've prepared two of them here. Here's one, and here's the other. I'm going to drop the magnet from this height onto this piece of fabric. First, let's try the experiment without dropping it into the tube. I'll just let it fall. It hits with a thud and lands. Now, let's think about what happens if I drop the magnet so that it travels through the tube, like this. Well, the result is pretty much the same. It hits with a thud, and the outcome is also the same. The two magnets snap together and stick. As you saw, this process happened very quickly. Let's watch it again. It hits with a thud and gets there in an instant. Okay, so what do you think will happen if I drop it through the copper tube, which has the same kind of hole? Same diameter, same length. Let's see. It fell much more slowly. In the copper tube, the magnet moved much more slowly than in the plastic tube. Why is that? Some people know a coil as something like what I have in my hand here, a wire wound up, kind of like an accordion. But this tube can also be considered a coil, a long single-turn coil. When the magnet moved down through the tube, it induced a current in the wall of the tube. A braking magnetic field is created, and you would clearly see that it slows down the fall of the magnet. Lenz said that if a coil is exposed to a changing magnetic field, then a voltage is induced in the coil, and if it has the opportunity, for example, if it is short-circuited, then a current is also generated. And if a current is generated, the direction of the current tries to create a magnetic field that opposes the magnetic field that created it. Here you can see the fan, which comes with this little shampoo cap. If anyone feels like taking a closer look at it, I'll be happy to show it to you in more detail. A proper, decent, and standard wire. Nothing at all has been tampered with or modified anywhere in any way. And before anyone has any questions or doubts, I'll show you the bulb as well. I'll unscrew it and show you the inside. Like this. I hope you can see it well. There's no little battery or anything else hidden inside. Nothing at all. Just as it should be. Of course, you might be thinking that the battery isn't actually located in this particular part, not in here, so I'll show you this as well for clarity. See, there are really just the four small indicator LEDs and the lens present here. No questions should come up here either, as everything is quite straightforward. This is still the screw, and this is still the speaker magnet, just as before. So the experiment goes as follows. You have to carefully place one of these imperial walkers together with the magnet. I'll put this fan unit right here, and then I'll give it a gentle push to start the process. It keeps moving. I'll move this little imperial walker a bit closer, let's say to about this distance right here. Here's my other little unit, which I will also use. For the experiment, I need to carefully place this onto this little fan stand, just like this. And basically, everything is now set up and ready for the experiment, so I think we should get started. The experiment works like this. The two magnets here induce a voltage in this coil. I give it a gentle push, and as you can clearly see, I'm really not touching it at all. Its angular momentum keeps it spinning at this steady speed. It slows down gradually over time, and the bulb, or rather this LED light, lights up. As I showed you earlier, there's absolutely no battery inside, and yet it still lights up. I'll give it another push, so it keeps spinning for a while longer. So where's the trick here, someone might ask? The trick is that these magnets actually have no effect on the experiment at all. They don't influence the outcome in any way. And if you ever see an experiment where a permanent magnet is supposedly generating electricity forever as a perpetual motion machine with energy coming from nowhere, you should start to wonder. The question is there some trick here? Yes, there is. I'll stop it, and now you can see that this thing works even without any movement. In fact, what's more, if I take this fan off and put it down here, it still works. If I move the coil, it's a bit dimmer, but it still works in the end. So there's definitely energy present here in this setup. The question that naturally arises is, where exactly does this energy come from? Well, this energy actually comes from an 84 kilohertz transmitter that's located under the table. If you look here, you'll notice there's a lithium-ion battery, and underneath the table there's also a coil. You can see the coil right there. And this device here is an 84 kilohertz transmitter. I'll take it out and show you what it looks like. If someone tells me this is very DIY, yes, I agree. This really is a very DIY solution. But the fact is, this is a resonant transmitter tuned to 84 kilohertz. So what do you need for resonance? For resonance, you need a coil and capacitors. There are a lot of capacitors here, and one coil. And then it's able to emit enough so-called energy to, for example, power this bulb here. Let's see how it works. I have to turn it on, then I can see. You can see that it can supposedly transmit energy over quite a large distance. Not several meters, but it easily bridges a distance of 10 to 20 centimeters, even 30 centimeters. Honestly, you don't even need that many turns, but this is what I had on hand and I didn't want to cut it. There are a lot of videos, misconceptions, and fake stuff circulating on the internet where they show that you can extract energy from magnets, coils, fans, spark plugs, wooden clogs, and so on. This is also one such solution. In these experiments, what they actually do is hide a high-power transmitter. This is a very high-power transmitter, so powerful that if I take a nail, here's a nail bent into a U shape, I grab it with pliers and put it right here. And now, at this very moment, we've crossed over into understanding another fascinating physical phenomenon. Namely, we need to say a few words about both hysterecism and eddy currents. And this nail basically behaves in such a way that it absorbs this energy. You can see the nail is starting to turn red. I'll heat it a bit more. So the material absorbs the energy and starts to glow. This is how induction cooktops work, for example. Right next to it, the air temperature is practically 20 or 30 degrees Celsius, but in about 40 seconds, the nail has heated up to a red-hot glow. You can feel that this transmitter is not exactly a low-power device. Whenever you see things in the world, whether in videos or in real life, where it looks like energy is just appearing out of nowhere, always ask yourself where the source of that energy might be. With a simple circuit like this, really just a basic DIY setup, you can pretty spectacularly transfer energy from one point to another. And you might think that, for example, a huge amount of free energy is being released from this magnet. No, that's not going to happen. Energy always has a source. So thank you all very much for your attention and for watching. I'm glad you watched my video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.